Okay, so here's the hand. I'm going to tell you right now, the button is in the wrong place, and it has something to do with something I did wrong, and I can't figure it out, so I apologize in advance. The button's not correct, and the button's actually here on Big Slick Pro, and for some reason it's showing up on this 7Xer kit. So I'm just going to quickly go through the table. Really, the only two players to worry about are myself and the villain, and I won't go deep into the history of the tournament, but let's just say I've been playing very short the entire tournament and started to run really good at the final table. Not only did I run good, because nobody had any reads on me and nobody had played any hands with me almost all day because I was short, I was able to just basically run the table over. I was opening pretty much almost every second hand, and these people, typically when these tournaments get deep, people like to fold. It's just the way it is. It's worse than online. I don't know the types of hands they're folding, but it's not uncommon to see someone fold for 10 straight orbits and wait. And I don't know what they're waiting for, but they're waiting. So I kind of described all the people at the final table, and at this point we're six-handed. It was easy to figure out. This Miss Pro was a very, very tight player who lived in Vegas, played full-time for a living, but wasn't that good, and made some really fundamental mistakes, which I'm not going to talk about in this video, but at some point. This other guy, Big Slick Pro, actually ended up, he had around 500k when the final table started, and basically pilfered his whole stack away. I can't even remember all the hands that he played poorly, but he didn't play that many hands great, and he was talking before the final table started about how he was going to run the final table over, and I guess he didn't because he's short. 10k buy-in old guy. The reason I called him 10k buy-in old guy was there was two old guys, the villain and the 10k buy-in guy, and 10k buy-in old guy played all these 10k buy-ins and kept telling us about, I played with this pro and that pro, and I was playing in a hand with Barrett Greenstein the other day, and it's just, I don't know, it just got too much to me. I didn't know whether to believe the hands he was talking about, whatever. He wasn't very good. He seemed to have more money than poker skill, and he was also folding an exceptional amount. The other player was the villain, who I can't remember how he got his chips, but the two of us basically had the stacks at the final table. I think he got the chips, actually. I do remember how he got the chips. He flopped trip nines on this Big Slip Pro guy with, I can't remember what his other card was, but it was a 10-9-9 board. The Big Slip Pro guy had a 10, and they got a huge hand, and he won a huge pot off him. I think it was a 3-bet pot, or I can't remember exactly the details of the hand, but he won a big hand against this Big Slip Pro guy. And I was at his table. One of the advantages I had, the 7Xer kid is just like it says. He only opened 7X, and basically everybody folded. Every time he 7X, it was unreal. For the final two tables, he kept 7Xing it. Everybody fold. But the villain, I had played with. What happened was at this table, when we got to 14 left, there was 8 at our table and 6 at the other table. So they moved me to the other table, which typically I always complain about. I never want to move because I just like the table I'm at. But it was really to my advantage because what happened was I got to play with everybody. So when the final table started, I was probably the only player that got to play with everybody. And there wasn't one player that I hadn't played with because I played at both final two tables. For about an equal amount of time, so I really got good reads on everybody. But this villain was at the first table that I went to, so I left him for a bit. When I came back, he had more chips. But he basically was playing scared often. And so what had happened was he would open, and there was a couple times, I think the blinds were something like 4 or 8, and he would open to 70k and then I'd be like, I think I was in the big blind with ace 10, and he opened to 70k, and it was like almost my whole stack. And I said to him, like, what are you doing? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Why are you raising so much? And he said he wouldn't say anything. And I said, your raise size doesn't matter. I was just basically trying to get information from the guy. And I folded, and he showed jacks. And so what would happen would be is that he would like 2x it or 2.5x it with a weak hand. Like 3x with a half decent hand, and then he would like 7x it with a really strong hand, and he kept doing it repeatedly. In his mind, I guess he thought it was working. In my mind, it was just giving me so much information on the guy. Basically, the size of his range told you the strength of his hands.